to you all. Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa, District Latur, it's organized a world record series too. Today there is 306th day of the long series, and the keynote speaker for today's session is on dais Honorable Dr. Vaishali Agrawal ma'am. So firstly, I welcome to you madam for the dais.
Thank you so much.
I welcome the chief organizer of the series, our ideal principal, M. Bedkar sir. Also welcomes faculty members and all those dear attendees. The topic for today's presentation is Direct Taxes in India, a simplified guide for salaried individuals. Now this topic is going to present by Honorable Dr. Vaishali Agrawal Madam. She is serving as an assistant professor at IIS deemed to be University from Jaipur. So with this brief introduction, now I request to you, madam, please start your presentation on today's topic, Direct Taxes in India, a simplified guide for salaried individuals. You are most welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity. So I would like to share my PPT with everyone. Okay, thank you so
Yes.
much. Okay, so thank you so much, sir, for providing me this opportunity to share my knowledge with the lovely people present over here. So before beginning, I would like to share a simple quote with you all, which states that understanding text is very difficult or is as difficult as understanding your wife. But being a faculty of taxation, I completely deny with this statement. I don't believe on the statement that taxation is so much difficult to understand. So let's break this myth and jump into the interesting world of tax, wherein today we are going to get to know about some basic concepts of taxation. Then, basically, in which we'll main focus on direct tax, and then we'll move ahead with the first head of our income, that is salary head. So its rules, regulations, provisions, and so on. So let's begin this journey of text with these simple questions which I have brought for you all. I hope this would be a participative audience we have. So I'll ask a question, I'll share my slide. You all can see the question over there and you all can answer it. So just give me a minute to share my slide. Yes, sir. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Great. So my first question to you all is, what is the main source of revenue for the government? I hope this is a very easy question for you all. Anyone can unmute their mic and answer me. Is it only salary or salary is the main source? Tax, exactly. Perfectly correct, sir. The main source of revenue for government is tax. Now, tax can be collected on salary also, on capital gain also, on business and profession also. So, there are broadly 5 kinds of heads on which we calculate the income and we pay the tax. So, the main source of revenue is tax. It may be direct tax, it may be indirect tax, anything. Right. Perfectly correct answer. Very good. So, the next question for you all is, when did Income Tax Act come into enforce? Any idea what is the Income Tax Act, in which year it was came into enforce? What is the year along with your Income Tax Act? Perfectly right. The act name is Income Tax Act 1961. Perfectly correct. But I have asked you in which year it came into enforce. So it would be a fun. मतलब lecture तो देना ही है sir at the end. Thank you so much. So I'll answer it. No worries. The answer was somewhere correct. Act year is Income Tax Act 1961, but it came into enforce in the year 1962. So the answer is 1962. So last question for you all. That is, which is the statutory authority for administration of the direct tax laws in India? Any guesses? Any idea? We have heard about so many statutory authorities. We have different kind of ministries also.
Madam, is it CBDT, Central Board of Direct Tax?
Perfectly correct, ma'am. I just want to give a huge round of applause for you. Perfectly correct. The statutory authority
Thank
who
you,
is
thank you.
responsible for administration of the direct taxes is CBDT, that is Central Board of Direct Taxes. Perfectly correct. So, with this basic information about the tax, now we'll move ahead with our presentation, wherein first of all we understand the meaning of tax, that what do you understand by tax. So tax is nothing but it's just a simple imposement of financial charge on an individual by government, failing of which is punishable under law. सो बेसिकली ये एक हमारा छोटा सा अमाउंट होता है जो हमारा गवर्नमेंट हमसे कलेक्ट करता है फॉर earning income in the country, as we are using the resources in our country. So somewhere in return government charges, or government wants something from us, so they are charging that thing from us in the name of tax. And broadly if I'll talk about taxation, so we have in India two types of taxes: direct tax and indirect tax. And if I'll give an introduction or basic definition of direct tax, so direct tax is that tax which is directly imposed on an individual or an assessee, or we can say which is directly borne by an individual or an assessee, in which the most common direct tax is income tax, which we as an individual almost pay to government. And the second point of taxation is indirect tax. So as the name itself suggests, it is an indirect tax. That means somewhere indirectly it is taken up by the customer or an assessee or a person or an individual, right? So just for an example, if I'll go on a shop to purchase something, so I just go on a shop, I'll ask, just give me a bottle of shampoo. They'll charge me 500 rupees or 400, or just take a small figure, that is 100 rupees, right? So that 100 rupees include the cost, the profit, and also the tax which is indirectly taken up by us, by the shopkeeper, and that shopkeeper uh, deposit that tax to the government. So the basic examples of indirect tax are GST and custom duty. So the next point is, and as an individual, we earn different kinds of income in an year. Right? I hope everyone knows this. It's not like that if I'm a salaried person, so I just earn only from salary. Might be possible that I have done some kind of investments somewhere and I'm earning interest out of it. Maybe possible I have sold out some property in my previous year and I have earned capital gain from it. So there are different kinds of income which we earn throughout the year. So to just make sure that every income you have is categorized in a proper format, government has made, or the finance ministry has made, five kinds of heads, and it is mandatory for each and every individual to bifurcate their whole year earned income into five heads according to their characteristics, right? So the five kinds of heads are: income from salary, that is your first head, wherein whatever income you are earning because of employee employer relationship, that comes into it. The second head is income from house property. So income from house property is that head in which if you have any kind of house property and you have rented that property to anyone, so the rental income which you are earning out of it will move into the second head, that is income from house property. The third head is your income from business and profession. As the name itself suggests, if you are earning any kind of income from manufacturing, trading, any kind of profession, your skills, your vocational skills, your abilities, so that income will move into the third head, that is income from business and profession. The fourth head is your income from capital gain. So capital gain income head includes that particular income wherein if you will sell any kind of or if you will transfer any kind of capital asset and in the previous year and you earn something, then that income will move into the fourth head, that is income from capital gain. And the last head, as the name itself explaining, that is income from other sources. So whatever income you are earning in your previous year is not moving in the above four heads, will dump into the last head, that is income from other sources. Now I have one question for you all. Why is it necessary to bifurcate my whole year income into these five heads? Why is it not possible to just add on all the incomes earned in your previous year and text that figure? Anyone in the as a participant, if you would like to share this or give answer of my question, why is it necessary? Any idea?
Different provisions under Income Tax Act.
Okay, different provisions are there. Definitely might be possible they are related to heads, but any specific point if you want to mention? Any specific word if you want to replace this provision word with any other word?
A different tax relaxation for different areas, maybe.
Different, perfectly fine, ma'am. Or we can also call it as exemptions and deductions. So here the answer of my question is there are different kinds of and maximum kind of benefits which are given by government to us are in the form of exemptions and deductions which are available in respective head. Just for an example, if I am a sir, my screen is visible.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay, great. So just suppose if I am a salaried person.
No, sir. Someone else is sharing. Somebody else is sharing.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Just hold on, sir. I'll share it again. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay. So now here the important point is government has given different kind of exemptions and benefits in each and every head. So if we are not going to put our respective head income into that particular head, we will not be able to avail that particular exemption or benefit available that particular head. Just for an example, if I'm a salaried person and I'm earning income through employee-employer relationship. So just suppose my salary is 1 lakh rupee in a year. And if I charge or put that particular income into house property head, then we have a provision or we have basically an deduction available in the salary head that is of standard deduction 50,000. So I would not be able to avail that particular deduction which is available in salary head and I have to pay tax on 1 lakh rupees. On the contrary, if I'll put that 1 lakh rupee in the respective belonging head, that is income from salaries, I would be able to avail the standard deduction of 50,000 and I will have to pay tax on only 50,000. So that is why it is very important and necessary for an individual to bifurcate its whole earned year income into respective head to avail the maximum benefit of all the exemptions and deductions available in respective head. Right. So we'll just take an example. Just suppose we have Miss Ria with us and she has earned these few amounts in five heads. That is salaries, 2 lakh rupees, house property, 3 lakh rupees, business and profession, 5 lakh rupees, capital gain, 60,000 rupees, and other sources, 70,000 rupees. So when she will add on all these heads income, then the amount which will come up will be known as gross total income. If you all can see, even 11,30,000 figure is written here, that would be termed as gross total income, right? Out of this gross total income, we can deduct or we can provide different kinds of deductions which are available under section 80C to 80U. Now, what are these deductions 80C to 80U? These are basically the deductions available related to your investments and related to your expenses. Just, I'm so sorry. Okay. Available related to your expenses and related to your investments. So if you have spent something in a year, just for an example, if you have taken any kind of life insurance policy, you have done any kind of medical insurance, if you have earned any kind of interest from saving bank account or anything. So there are multiple deductions available related to your incomes and related to your investment or expenses, which comes under section 80C to 80U. So according to your expenditures and earnings, you can avail respective deduction. And after deducting these figures from gross total income, the final amount will be known as total income. And this is the amount on which we pay tax, right? So moving further, this was just a basic introduction of income tax, wherein we have 5 heads, and whatever income we earn in a year, we bifurcate that particular income into respective head. We just sum up the income from each and every head, and that is known as gross total income. From that, we deduct the deduction under section 80C to 80U, and the final income is known as total income on which we pay the tax. So now it's not possible to cover all the heads in a very short lecture of just 45 minutes or 1 hour. So I have just restricted my lecture into a single head, that is the first head of income, that is introduction to salaries. And I hope we all are here who are salaried persons. So I think that this head would be very important for us to understand and to know what are the components which are present in salary, what are the maximum deductions or exemptions which are available in salary, and how can we save our tax in spite of earning a good amount of salary. So basically, the first head is known as income from salary. And what kind of income comes here? So the whatever income you receive as an employee from your employer for rendering the services over there is known as salary. And always remember that whatever income you are earning as a salary is taxable on due or received basis, whichever is earlier. So it's not necessary that if you'll receive, then only then it is taxable. If it is due also, then also it is taxable in your previous year. Moving further, there are 8 components of your salary, because as a layman, we just know that we are earning salary. But what, according to the income tax act, what are the portions or what are the components which makes your salary? So there are kind of 8 pointers. That is your basic salary, the earner's allowance, bonus, fees, commission, allowances, and all your retirement benefits. These all 8 points, when come together and make a figure, then it's known as gross salary. And from this gross salary, we give some deductions which are specifically related to salary head. Earlier, when I told you about the deductions under section 80C, 80C to 80U, those were the deductions available from your gross income, gross total income. And gross total income is a combination of all the 5 heads. Whereas when I am talking here about deductions, these are specifically related to your salary head only. So if you are a salaried person, if you are earning anything because of your employee-employer relationship, then you can put that particular income in this head, and the combination and the sum up of all these 8 pointers is known as gross salary. Now, maybe a question arises in your mind, because it's not necessary for every person to earn all the 8 categories of income. It's not practically possible. Might be possible some person is only earning basic salary, might be possible one person is earning basic plus DA plus bonus, might be possible someone is earning basic DA or commission, maybe basic DA or any kind of retirement benefit. So combination can be any. So you can't say that I'm just earning 2 or 3 pointers out of these 8. So is it a gross salary? Yes, definitely the answer is yes. In that situation also, your salary would be known as gross salary. And if you will give deductions related to your salary, the remaining amount will be known as your taxable salary. Right. So this is basically a simple format of calculating income from salary head. So whatever monetary income which is received by your employer, by you, is termed as monetary income from salary. Then if your employer is contributing to new pension and scheme of you, then in that situation that too would be added. Then all the perks if you are receiving, is anyone aware about here what do you mean by perk or perquisites? Any idea regarding perquisites, or single word if you want to give to perquisite? Anyone here, please?
It is a facilities given to the employee.
Perfectly correct, sir. Very good. I have lovely audience and educated audience over here. So it is basically a facility given by employer to employee. And lastly, profit in lieu of salary, which is very commonly known as retirement benefits. So these are basically the combinations, that is your retirement benefits, your perks, your allowances, and your above, basically all the monetary benefits which you get from your employer. If we'll add up all these benefits, we'll come to know as gross salary. And from this gross salary, the deductions which I was talking about is present over here. The first deduction is your standard deduction. This is basically a very good benefit introduced by government to you all. This deduction is just a facility given by government to you all, being a salaried person or a person who is earning just pension. So if you are earning any amount in the head income from salary, then you are eligible to get this deduction, that is a standard deduction. And here the amount of deduction is 50,000 or amount of tax, whichever amount of salary, gross salary, whichever is less, that you can deduct it over here. There is no other condition to be fulfilled to get this deduction. The next deduction is your entertainment allowance. So entertainment allowance is what? Entertainment allowance is, if I am using a word allowance, so allowance basically means monetary benefit. मतलब आपको पैसा मिल रहा है उस चीज के बदले में. तो अगर आपको एंटरटेनमेंट करने के लिए पैसा मिल रहा है, सो इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट कि हम मस्ती कर रहे हैं और उसके लिए भी हमें पैसा मिल रहा है. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट एट ऑल. Entertainment means definitely if your employer is giving you an entertainment allowance, so that is somewhere the benefit of the company only. So if you are entertaining the customers of the employer and in return employer is giving you any kind of entertainment allowance, that comes under the category of deduction. But here there is a provision: if private employee is earning any kind of employer entertainment allowance, that will be always added as a monetary benefit in the gross salary only. There is no deduction for private employees. But if a government employee is earning any kind of entertainment allowance, so that would be first of all added in the gross salary. After that, deduction will be provided for entertainment allowance, and the amount of deduction would be amount received 5,000 rupees or 1/5 of the salary, whichever is less. In तीनों में से जो भी कम होता है, that used to be deducted from as an entertainment allowance. And the last deduction is your professional or employment tax. That this can be, it is not compulsory, but this is basically in the hands of local authorities or state government. If they want to charge this tax from any kind of professional, and if any assessee is paying such kind of tax, then that is eligible for a deduction under section 16 subsection 3. Okay, so after deducting all these 3 deductions, the remaining amount which comes as, that is known as taxable income from salaries. So I'll give you a brief introduction of each and every pointer which we have studied over here, that we did monetary incomes, then perks, then profit in lieu of salary. So I'll just give a brief introduction about these pointers. So if you will talk about monetary salary, so monetary, as the term suggests and explains itself, that is monetary means pesa, money. So if you are earning anything in form of money, that is your basic salary. Basic salary means the basic amount which you get for rendering your services. That is your basic salary. Next is known as, that is dearness pay or dearness allowance. So what is dearness allowance? Dearness allowance basically means the allowance or the amount which I get along with my basic pay, and this is as good as my basic pay. अगर आप लोगों ने सुना हो महंगाई भत्ता, have you heard this term महंगाई भत्ता? This is
Yes, yes.
this is dearness pay, because a person cannot give you a basic salary as much as they want, but you want something to earn up your living and to sustain in the world. So in that situation, they give you dearness pay along with your basic salary. Here my question is, just suppose if a person or an individual is working somewhere, his or her salary is 20,000 and the employer wants to give him 40,000. So what will he do? He will give him dearness pay also of 20,000, just suppose. That is as good as your basic pay, so might be 100% of your basic pay. So here the salary is 40,000. Now my question is, why the employer did not increase the basic pay or basic salary to 40,000 only? Why did he introduce one more allowance here, that is dearness pay? At the end, he is just giving 40,000 to the employee. Then why there was a necessity of this bifurcation? Any idea? But sir, at the end, you are getting 40,000 only. He is paying 40,000 only. My question is, why there is a need to bifurcate? Why can't he get 40,000 with the name of basic salary only?
May I?
Yes, sir, definitely. Thank you.
It's because certain other allowances are dependent on the quantum of the basic pay. If the basic pay is inflated, all other allowances also go on rising.
Yeah, definitely. That is one of the pointers. And definitely every year you all get a hike. And that hike is based on basic salary only. So if you will increase the basic salary, definitely it will impact the cost of employer. So somewhere that is a necessity to bifurcate or to give basic salary along with all the allowances, your perks, and your retirement benefits. So the composition of your salary is basic salary, then your DNS pay, bonus. I think that is a very familiar term which everyone knows. So I just gave a brief one in a one single sentence. Bonus, if an employer earns profits, high profits, inflated profits in any year, then he can bifurcate that, or he can just out of happiness give that amount to their employees, and that is known as bonus. And it is always taxable on received basis, not on due basis. As I told you earlier, salary is always taxable on due basis, but if I'll talk about a specific pointer, that is your bonus, that is always taxable on received basis, because that is not fixed, that is given by employer to employees out of happiness. So if that happiness gone, then bonus is also gone. So and we always give tax on the amount received. If I'm sure that I'll receive that amount, then only then I'll pay the tax. If I'm not earning anything, I'm not going to pay the tax. The next is your commission and fees, and last your fifth point is your allowances. And as I said, what do you mean by allowances? Whatever amount you are earning in monetary terms is allowance. Okay, so whatever fixed amount you are receiving from your employer in monetary terms is your allowance. And if I'll talk about allowances, there are different types of allowances categorized. That is fully tax-free allowances, partially tax-free allowances, and fully taxable allowances. So if I'll talk about fully tax-free allowances, these are the cherry on the cakes. If you are getting these allowances, that means you are earning something. Along with that, you don't need to pay any kind of tax to the government. So for these kind of allowances, you have to be a government employee. So private में तो हमें इतने benefits नहीं मिलते हैं. But if you will become an employee of government, तो definitely आपको पैसा भी मिलेगा और साथ के साथ taxation में benefits भी मिलेंगे. So if you're getting any kind of foreign allowance, all the allowances given to the Supreme Court and High Court judges, allowances to the UNO employees, allowances to the chairman and members of UPSC, allowances to SAC members, all the types of allowances are completely tax free. So these are the cherry on the cakes. You are getting money. Along with that, you don't have to pay tax on the money also. The next comes your partly tax free allowances. So partly tax free allowances, I have just given few allowances. I have mentioned just few allowances, partly tax free allowances. There is a huge list of partly tax free allowances. So what are partly tax free allowances? All the allowances in which you have to pay tax on certain amount, not the full amount. Just for an example, if I'll talk about house rent allowance. So house rent allowances for my rental income of house, if my employer is paying any kind of monetary benefit to me, that is house rent allowance. So if just suppose I'm getting 10,000 rupees per month, so I don't have to pay tax on whole 10,000. There are calculation of exemptions, and I'm not going to get into those calculations, otherwise it would be very boring for you all. So I'm just telling you this is a partly tax-free allowances, wherein on the whole amount of 10,000, you no need to pay the tax. Might be possible after the call calculation, you just have to pay tax on 6,000 and remaining 4,000 would be exempted. So you must be aware about what are the types of allowances which are fully taxable, which are fully tax free, and which are partly tax free. So the few important partly tax free allowances are entertainment allowance, transport allowance, house rent allowance, children education allowance, and children hostel allowance. And there are so many allowances in partly tax free which are related to the areas, or these are basically meant for the army people, which are related to a specific field, specific areas, specific heights. So next category is your fully taxable allowances. These are those allowances, if you are receiving these allowances, then whatever the situation is, you have to pay full tax on the amount received. There would be no exemption related to these pointers. That is dearness allowance, medical allowance, servants allowance, telephone allowance, meal allowance, and the list is very huge. There are so many other allowances: tiffin allowance, dog allowance, your guardship allowance, project allowance, city compensatory allowance. So the list is huge, wherein you have to pay full tax on the amount received. Next terminology comes here, that is perquisite, and someone clearly and perfectly explained that perquisite means all the benefits you are receiving in kind. Just for an example, when we started with the allowances, I used a terminology that is house rent allowance. So if you are getting any amount related to your house rent, that is your house rent allowance. But if your employer is providing you a house to stay in, that is your perquisite, and that is known as RFA, that is rent free accommodation. So the basic difference between allowances and perks are always paid in kind and or given in kind, and allowances are always paid in monetary form or amount. Okay, so we have again categorized perks into three categories: perks taxable for all employees, perks taxable for specified employees, and perks exempted for all the employees. I have not mentioned the details of these perks because it's again a very huge list and we need another session to explain these perks. Okay, so the last component of our salary is your profit in lieu of salary. So profit in lieu of salary, in a very simple terminology, if I'll explain you, so that means retirement benefits. So if any kind of benefit which I am receiving from my employer after my retirement, that is profit in lieu, in addition of my salary, that is my after my retirements. And different kind of retirement benefits are earned leave salary, gratuity, pension, retrenchment compensation, compensation on voluntary retirement, payment from provident fund, and other payments related to your notice period, keyman insurance, and so on. Again, I'll repeat my words. These all slides, a single slide, it's itself a single hour lecture and 1 hour lecture. So I can't sum up all these pointers in 1 hour lecture. So I have just given you the introduction of each and everything over here. So now the next very, very, very important part, which I think I should share with you all, we have learned what are the components of our salary. So basically, there are 8 components of our salary, which make up our gross salary, and from that gross salary, we deduct few deductions, or basically there are only 3 deductions which are available in your salary head. Out of after deducting all these 3 deductions, the amount come up as is known as taxable salary. Now, when we have to pay tax, we have 2 options now with us, that is old tax and new tax regime. Is anyone familiar with these 2 terminologies? I hope everyone is paying tax and might
Yes,
be possible.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell me, ma'am, which one is beneficial for you, or any idea, or you can guess that which one is beneficial for me?
See, the old tax is beneficial for me because of home loan benefits, education loan benefits, and LIC policies and medical allowances. Because in new
Perfectly
tax
great.
regime, they are not giving these allowances.
Perfectly correct, ma'am. Truly said. It does not. We cannot assure you that old tax is beneficial or new tax is beneficial, because it depends upon person to person. It depends how you are earning, how many benefits you are getting, how many investments you have done, how many expenses you have done. What are your basic structure of earning? On that basis, you can decide that which scheme is more beneficial to you, either old tax or new tax. Because if I'll talk about old tax scheme, there are multiple deductions and exemptions available, but here the tax rates are different, wherein if I am opting for new tax regime, there are benefits in the tax rates, but the deductions and exemptions which are available each and every head are withdrawn from us. So it's just an option to a salaried. If you are not earning any kind of income from business and profession head, then it's an option for you, which is given by government to you every time, every year in the beginning, that you can opt for new tax also, or you can opt for old tax also. So it depends upon your earning in the previous year. You can calculate through both the methods, and wherever your tax value is coming less, you can definitely opt that particular scheme. And in the subsequent, if your subsequent year, if you want to switch to another scheme, then definitely you can do so. In earlier year, you had opted your new tax regime. In next year, if you want to opt for old tax regime, then definitely it's completely your choice, you can do so. In old tax regime, as I said, the slabs are fixed, and here the categories are made for the slabs. That is individual, where the age is 60 or below 60, then senior citizen, where the age is between 60 to 80, and the very senior citizens, or we name it as super senior citizens, where the age is above 80. So the basic limit for an individual to file a return is 2,50,000. If your year earning is less than 2.5 lakh, then it's not mandatory for you to return a file. But if your income is more than 2.5 lakh in an year, then it is mandatory for you to file a return. And up to 2.5 lakh, there is no tax. From next, above 2.5 lakh to 5 lakhs, the rate is 5%. Above 5 lakh to between 5 lakh to 10 lakh, the rate is 20%, and above 10 lakhs, the rate is 30%. On the contrary, if I talk about senior citizen, then the exemption limit is 50,000 more as compared to the normal individual whose age is 60 years or below. So here the limit in case of senior citizen is 3 lakh. Up to 3 lakh, there is no tax. Between 3 lakh to 5 lakh, the tax rate is 5%. Between 5 lakh to 10 lakh, the rate is 20%. And above 10 lakh, if you are earning as a senior citizen, then the rate is 30%. And when we are going to talk about very senior or super senior citizens, the exemption limit is little bit higher as compared to senior citizens or an individual. That is, here in case of super senior citizen, the limit is 5 lakh. So if a super senior citizen is earning up to 5 lakh, there is no tax. Between 5 lakh to 10 lakh, it is 20%, and above 10 lakh, it is 30%. Whereas if I'll talk about new tax regime, which comes under section 115 BAC, that came into effect from the assessment year 21-22. Under this section, if you will see, then the the slabs, the rates are less as compared to my old tax regime. That is up to 2.5 lakh. As earlier, there is no tax, but between 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, the rate is 5%. Then the slabs are more bifurcated in the categories of 2.5 lakh, 2.5 lakhs. So from next 5 lakh to 7.5 lakh, the rate is 10%, 7.5 lakh to 10 lakh, it is 15, then 20, then 25, and again the higher slab is 30%. So here, if I'm getting benefits in the tax rates, so I am not eligible for the deductions and exemptions which are given in different and category wise heads. So definitely at the end, it depends on you that how you are earning, how much you are earning, from where you are earning, where you have done your investments, and on that basis you can choose your best slab. So this is just a highlight which I have made for you all as a salaried person. If I talk about helper allowance, so it is completely tax free in old tax regime, whereas it is fully taxable in new tax regime. If I talk about researcher allowance, then and uniform allowance, both are tax free in old tax, whereas fully taxable in new tax regime. The main and most important, that is HRA, which is I think very common, and most of the person who are salaried are getting HRA. So that is partly tax free in old tax regime, whereas if I talk about new tax, then that is fully taxable. There is no kind of exemption in HRA, entertainment allowance, children education allowance, and children hostel allowance. In old scheme, these four are partly tax free. That means on some amount we have to pay the tax and some amount is completely exempted. Whereas if I'll opt for new tax regime, then these four allowances are completely taxable. Whatever I'm earning, I have to pay tax on the full amount. Next, that is facility of free meals, tea, snacks, and leave travel concessions, which are a part of perks. So all remaining perks, the calculations are same, but the exemptions are available in these two perks, whereas in new tax regime, exemption is not available. These both of these things are fully taxable. And lastly, the very, very, very important part, as we discussed, that are the deductions. The deduction of standard deduction, your professional tax, and entertainment allowance are available in your old tax regime. You can deduct these figures from your income, but if you are opting new tax regime, then these deductions are not at all allowed. So this was just a brief introduction of your salary head. So that's it from my end. Thank you all for listening me and understanding me.
Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Now it's time for the interaction session. Dear participant, if you have any query, please come ahead.
Ma'am, very well explained and very informative topic you have chosen. And I think it is relevant to all the participants, and they will definitely share this knowledge with others also.
Definitely, ma'am. My pleasure. Thank you.
Very enlightened. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the appreciation.
Madam, excellent.
Madam, can you please explain once again regarding entertainment allowance, madam? It is exempted only for government employees, not for others. Please explain once again, madam, please.
Yes, sir. Definitely, I'll explain it again. The entertainment allowance, if we'll talk about specifically, then from the previous year, assessment year 2020 to 2002, 2003, it is only taxable for, it is only exempted for government employees. For private employees, it is always taxable. If a private employee is getting any kind of entertainment allowance, that would be always added in the gross salary. No deduction related to entertainment allowance will be provided to private employee. But if you are a government employee, then in that situation, you are eligible to get a deduction for entertainment allowance, and the amount of deduction would be amount received 5,000 or 1/5 of the salary, whichever is less.
Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're most welcome, sir.
Madam, very informative session for taxable income, how to collect information for tax, how to prepare information in tax deductions, all columns. You have beautiful explain and very interesting, madam. Thank you very
so
much.
Thank you so much, sir. Means a lot.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Good evening, Dr. Bedkar sir, Principal sir. Good evening, Prashant sir, and good evening, ma'am. Wonderful presentation. Everyone is concerned with the tax and taxation. We really recognize it when we are paying income tax. Then we remember the taxation and everything. We are having a basic knowledge about the taxation. Our accounts and the chartered accountant, they are playing with this. But many of the times we are having questions, why we are paying so much of tax, or how we can reduce this tax, by what are the ways to save this tax, and we can have our own savings. These are the questions arises at the time. So please, I want a kind of suggestion from you. And another very important thing is, I always get a question. We are giving TDS also, and this tax also, and this also. And then when we are purchasing something, we are paying GST also. So why there are so many taxes in our country? Thank you.
Sir, as the main answer of your last question is I have given in my first slide only, because tax is the main source of revenue for government. So it's like it's a main revenue, so they needed to run government. So somewhere that is we need to pay the tax, but here the main thing which
why there are so many different taxes, why it is not under one heading?
Yes, sir. If you will talk about all the indirect taxes, so for that, Modi ji definitely brought that GST, goods and service tax, that implemented on 1st July 2017. So that was the main motive. Because if I'll talk about direct tax, there is only one tax, that is income tax. But if I'll talk about indirect taxes, just before 2017, there were so many taxes: excise duty, your VAT, your sales tax, your entertainment tax. So many taxes were there. So they all subsumed all the taxes, and they made only one tax, that is GST. So if you talk about taxation, so you are paying tax in two different ways. First is direct tax, whatever you are earning, so you are paying tax on that particular income. And second is your indirect tax, which is indirectly taken up by you. So it's like that. So both things are different. If you are earning something and you want to save tax on that particular income, so there are different types of deductions which are available to you. That is under section 80C to 80U. So this is a huge list. Again, we have to conduct one more session related to these deduction, wherein I can elaboratively tell you that what are the different deductions which you can avail. Just for an example, if you have taken life insurance policy, right, so you can avail deduction over there, that you can invest. There is a limit of 1,50,000 under section 80C. So if you want to avail that particular kind of deduction, you can invest in different kinds of schemes. There again a different kind of deduction available related to your ATD, that is related to your medical insurance claim. So there are different types of situations. There are different kinds of investment. If you will do that kind of investment, you will definitely save your money, as well as you will save your tax also. So that is a kind of tax planning is required when you earn anything and when you invest anything. It's just like that.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, sir.
हेलो, नमस्ते मैडम, सभी को नमस्कार। मैडम, मेरा ये सवाल है कि एक माइनर बच्चा कि अगर एफडी है और उस पे जो इंटरेस्ट आता है, तो
एक माइनर बच्चा क्या है?
माइनर बच्चे के नाम जब एफडी रहती है और उसका जो इंटरेस्ट वगैरह आता है, ब्याज, तो वो पिता की इनकम में जुड़ता है, ठीक है ना?
सर देखिए, पहले मैं ये एक स्टेटमेंट आपका ठीक करना चाहूंगी। इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट कि वो पिता की ही इनकम में जुड़ता है। यहाँ पे हमारा प्रोविजन होता है कि पिछले साल माँ या बाप, जिस भी इंसान की इनकम ज्यादा है, उसकी इनकम में जाके माइनर का पैसा जुड़ता है। मैडम हमारे इंडिया में ये कल्चर है कि नॉर्मली माना जाता है कि माँ तो कम ही कमाती है या नहीं कमाती है, तो डेफिनेटली या तो फादर ही कमाते हैं या वो ही ज्यादा कमाते हैं मदर के कंपैरिजन में। तो हमने ये ऑटोमेटिकली माइंड में सेट कर लिया कि अगर माइनर कमा रहा है तो वो फादर की इनकम में ही जाएगा। लेकिन अगर मैं टैक्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बात करूं तो मदर या फादर जिसकी भी इनकम ज्यादा है प्रीवियस ईयर में, उसकी इनकम में हम माइनर के पैसे को जोड़ते हैं।
जी नहीं मैं हाँ ठीक है मैडम, नई जानकारी है, धन्यवाद। मैडम मेरा ये सवाल है कि जब बच्चे की एफडी रहती है और उसका जो ब्याज आता है वो पिता सैलरी ऑर्डर और इनकम रिटर्न फाइल पिता करता है, माता नहीं करती। माता की इनकम नहीं है, वो टैक्सेबल नहीं है उसकी इनकम। तो जब अगर वही कुछ एफडी माता उसी अकाउंट में कर दे पैसे और उसका जो ब्याज आएगा जो माता के द्वारा बच्चे के नाम पर उसी अकाउंट में एफडी करा दी जाती है, तो क्या वो भी पिता की इनकम में ही टैक्सेबल रहेगी?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। देखिए सर, यहाँ पे मतलब ये नहीं है कि एफडी करा कौन रहा है, यहाँ पे जो पॉइंट है वो ये है कि किसके नाम पे एफडी हो रही है। आप समझ रहे हैं बात को? वो फादर कराए कि मदर कराए, लेकिन जिसके नाम पे एफडी हो रही है दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट, है ना। तो वो टैक्सेशन काउंट होता है जिसके नाम पे वो डॉक्यूमेंट है।
जी मैडम दूसरा ये सवाल है इसमें, जब बच्चा माइनर यानी वो बालिग हो जाए तो वो जो पैसा है वो उसी के नाम पर एफडी है, तो क्या वो जो सब पैसा उसी के नाम पे है और उसका जो ब्याज आएगा उसका क्या प्रक्रिया रहेगी? मतलब वो भी पिता से ही जुड़ा रहेगा या वो
नहीं, जैसे ही बच्चा मेजर हो जाता है तो वो अपनी रिटर्न उसकी क्या कहते हैं वो उसके ऊपर टैक्स फिर खुद फाइल करता है, उसके ऊपर टैक्स भी वो खुद ही पे करता है, फिर मदर और फादर का कोई रोल नहीं होता है।
जी धन्यवाद मैडम।
हेलो,
हाँ जी सर।
मैं हरियाणा से बोल रहा हूँ। ये लीव एनकैशमेंट की जो अमाउंट होती है रिटायरमेंट पर, ये टैक्सेबल होती है क्या? बस ये जानना चाहूंगा
सर। ये इसमें यहाँ पे प्रोविजन है कि अगर आप गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय हैं तो वहां पे लीव एनकैशमेंट अगर आपको एक साथ मिल रहा है आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट तो वो कम्प्लीटली टैक्स फ्री है, उसमें कोई टैक्स चार्ज नहीं होता। लेकिन अगर आप प्राइवेट एम्प्लॉय हैं और देखिए अब लीव एनकैशमेंट में भी 2-3 प्रोविजंस होते हैं। अगर आप लीव एनकैशमेंट एवरी ईयर के बाद ले रहे हैं तो भले ही आप गवर्नमेंट हो कि प्राइवेट हो, दोनों ही केसेस के अंदर इट इज फुली टैक्सेबल, राइट। लेकिन अगर आप प्राइवेट एम्प्लॉय हैं और आपको लीव एनकैशमेंट का पैसा मिल रहा है आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट तो उस केस के अंदर दिस इज पार्टली टैक्स फ्री, दैट इज पार्टली टैक्सेबल। कुछ अमाउंट पे टैक्स लगता है और कुछ अमाउंट आपका एग्जेम्प्ट हो जाता है। तो वहां पे बकायदा 3-4 पॉइंट्स के कैलकुलेशन होती है, जो भी आपका अमाउंट मिला है प्लस 2 फॉर्मूलाज हैं उससे आप कैलकुलेट करते हो और लास्टली एक मैक्सिमम लिमिट होती है दैट इज ऑफ 3 लाख। तो आप चारों पॉइंटर्स कैलकुलेट करते हो, जो भी सबसे कम आता है दैट यूज्ड टू बी एग्जेम्प्टेड एंड रिमेनिंग अमाउंट इज टैक्सेबल।
जी थैंक्स अ लॉट।
You're most welcome, sir.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
I have one question.
Yeah, definitely, sir.
अभी हम जो है 2005 से आगे के एम्प्लॉय है,
हाँ जी,
तो हमको नेशनल पेंशन स्कीम लागू है।
ओके।
तो 10% कंट्रीब्यूशन जो है वो अपना रहता है सैलरी से।
हाँ जी।
अभी गवर्नमेंट अभी 14% कंट्रीब्यूशन दे रही है।
हाँ जी।
तो इस साल से वो गवर्नमेंट का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है वो सैलरी में ऐड हो गया।
ओके।
हाँ, तो 1,50,000 जो कंट्रीब्यूशन जो डिडक्शन है,
हाँ
80 सीसी के लिए है।
हाँ जी।
तो उसमें 10% कंट्रीब्यूशन अपना है।
हाँ जी।
तो गवर्नमेंट कंट्रीब्यूशन के लिए कोई एक्स्ट्रा प्रोविजन टैक्स में
अगर आप यस सर बिल्कुल, जो एम्प्लॉयर कंट्रीब्यूट करता है उसका डिडक्शन मिलता है अंडर सेक्शन 80 CCD 2 में। अगर आप बात करेंगे आपने जो 80 CC बोला दैट इज रिलेटेड टू योर प्राइवेट जो जितनी भी इन्वेस्टमेंट पेंशन स्कीम्स होती है उसके लिए है। 80 CCD 1 is for the employee contribution and 80 CCD 2 is for employer's contribution. So that is different from your 1,50,000 plus अगर आप NPS में contribute कर रहे हो तो उसका 50,000 का अलग डिडक्शन और मिलता है आपको। तो आप अपने सीए से डिस्कस करके ये चीज इंश्योर कर सकते हो कि जितना भी आप इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं उसमें ये सारे डिडक्शन अवेल किए गए हों आपके।
जी अभी 14% जो गवर्नमेंट का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है,
हाँ जी,
हाँ जी, हाँ वो अभी अबाउट 2 लाख है मेरा,
अच्छा,
तो उसको मेरा बेनिफिट सिर्फ 50,000 ही मिलेगा ना उसमें?
हाँ, बेनिफिट वो सर कैलकुलेशन पूरी आपकी करके देखनी पड़ेगी कि आपने कितना, और बाकी आपने अगर कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट ले रखा है उसमें से आपने कितना अवेल कर लिया है, 1,50,000 की पूरी लिमिट अवेल कर ली है कि नहीं कर ली है। अगर वो भी कर ली है तो 50,000 का एडिशनल बेनिफिट है। 1,50,000 इज नॉट इंक्लूडेड, मतलब दैट 50,000 इज नॉट इंक्लूडेड इन 1,50,000। 1,50,000 प्लस 50,000 एनपीएस के अलग से।
ओके ओके, थैंक यू मैम।
लेकिन वो लिमिट 1,50,000 तक ही है, उससे ज्यादा नहीं है।
जी जी, थैंक यू मैम।
हेलो मैडम, गुड इवनिंग सर, नमस्ते।
नमस्ते मैम।
मैडम जस्ट वन क्वेश्चन, लाइक वुमेन अगर वो कुछ इंडस्ट्री या कुछ स्टार्ट करेंगे, वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर, तो उनके जब लोन दिया जाता है ना, तो 1% ऐसा कुछ कम दिया, दे विल गिव 1% लेस, राइट? यानी whenever a woman takes up a loan na to set up industry, the bank is providing them at least 1 or 2% interest rate will be less. Okay. Right. So just I want to just give a question, like whenever we take salaries also. Yeah. So is there any such kind of 1% or 2% exemption ladies के लिए, ऐसा कुछ माफी किया जाता है क्या?
मैम ये तो ना निर्मला सीतारमण जी से ही बात करनी पड़ेगी कि वो कुछ ऐसा हमारे लिए टैक्स स्लैब में भी कुछ स्पेशल प्रोविजंस निकाले। अभी तक तो उन्होंने सिर्फ अकॉर्डिंग टू एज ही प्रोविजंस निकाल रखे, तो अब थोड़ी सी वही अप्रोच लगानी पड़ेगी अपन को कि विमेंस के लिए भी अलग से कुछ स्लैब क्रिएट करी जाए।
क्योंकि बहुत अच्छा है ऐसा कुछ एग्जाम्पशन, क्योंकि लोन तो हमें 2 to 3% हमें एग्जाम्पशन दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि बैंक वाले हमसे एग्जाम्पशन दे रहे हैं।
टैक्स में तो इक्वालिटी पे ही बिलीव कर रही है कि वो नहीं मान रही कि मेल फीमेल अलग अलग है, उनके लिए तो दोनों बराबर है, दोनों कमा रहे हैं तो दोनों बराबर टैक्स पे करो।
अच्छा, हाँ, तो सिस्टम कैसा है, एक तरफ से हमें like we are getting some kind of relaxation, another time we are giving the same in a double form, we are giving in the form of tax.
है ना कि गवर्नमेंट वही ना, लड्डू हमें एक ही हाथ में मिलते हैं, इट्स जस्ट लाइक दैट। तो गवर्नमेंट एक हाथ में दे रही है तो दोनों में नहीं दे सकती है, इट्स जस्ट लाइक दैट, वेरी सिंपल आंसर।
थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Firstly, I have good night each and everyone, especially Dr. Bedkar sir and organized committee. Now today, excellent speaker. We have it is a very important life questions is there. Is it a tax? We have paid each and every person. It is a direct and indirect taxes. They have explanation excellently. But my difficult or my thought is there. For example, those who have get the 3 lakh salary, they have 30% tax is there.
30%? I'm not getting
30% is.
No, sir.
30% tax is those who have get a 3.5 lakh rupees. Means 30 lakh rupees.
No. The slab is till 10 lakh, sir. If you are earning above 10 lakh, then the rate
above
is
15 lakh. Above 15 lakh. I have told about 15 lakh.
New tax regime. If you will talk about old tax regime, then the slab is still 10 lakh. So if you are earning above 10 lakh, then 30% tax is there.
Yeah. तो फिर दुनिया के नजर में हम 3 लाख सैलरी ले रहे हैं, तो उसके अंदर 3 लाख को 30 तो 90,000 रुपए टैक्स कट हो रहा है। पहले कट करके दे तो अपने हाथ में जितना मिलता उतना मिलता ना। हर आदमी को ऐसा लगता कि बाबा इसकी पगार है 3-4 लाख रुपए, ऐसा लगता। ऐसा गवर्नमेंट, कैन इट पॉसिबल द गवर्नमेंट हैज टेक सच ए
3-4 lakhs rupees per month or per year? So I think you are talking about per month.
Per month, madam.
Right.
For example, he have got that 3 and 5. 1 minute, just a minute.
Yeah, definitely.
One person is there, class 1 officer is there, or the professor is there, or the principal is there. They have got 3.5 lakh rupees per month. The 31 or 32% is there, and surcharge is there. If it is possible to government already cutting that taxes and give the only salary, तो इसके समाज के दृष्टि में हमारे को 3.5 लाख 4 लाख रुपए मिल रहा, हर आदमी के नजर में हम भर गए, इसको इतना पगार है, तो हाथ में तो मिलता ऐसा है, तो हम डायरेक्ट टैक्स वाले हैं। अगर एक पांडवा वाला 4 लाख भी कमाए तो उन्हें टैक्स नहीं भरता, What about your personal opinion, please?
बिल्कुल सर देखिए, इसमें तो पहली बात तो ये है कि भले ही आप 3 लाख 4 लाख कमा रहे, गवर्नमेंट पहले आपको एक ऑप्शन देती है। उन्होंने एक बहुत लंबी चौड़ी एक लिस्ट बना रखी है।
ये कमा रहे, there is salary. Please understand. That is a salary. कमाना बात अलग है। और एक पांडव वाला है, होटल वाला कमाता है। हम कमा रहे नहीं, हम सैलरी ले रहे हैं।
आप सैलरी ले रहे हैं, ओके सर, आप सॉरी फॉर द वर्ड्स, आप सैलरी ले रहे हैं। तो जो आप सैलरी ले रहे हैं उसके अंदर गवर्नमेंट पहले आपको ऑप्शंस देती है। अगर वो डायरेक्टली टैक्स काटेगी तो जो आपको ऑप्शंस मिलते हैं डिडक्शंस के, वो खत्म हो जाएंगे। ठीक है, सो माय ओपिनियंस कि आप भाई, आपको सबसे पहले गवर्नमेंट ऑप्शन दे रही है कि हमने एक बहुत बड़ी लिस्ट बनाई है जहां पे आपको बहुत सारे डिडक्शंस अवेलेबल है रिलेटेड टू योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, रिलेटेड टू योर इनकम्स, तो आप उनको अवेल करो। अब प्रॉब्लम इंडिया में ये है कि अवेयरनेस की, आधे लोगों को पता ही नहीं है कि हमको हेड्स में भी एग्जेम्पशंस मिलती है। इंसान को पता ही नहीं है कि हमको बहुत सारे इन्वेस्टमेंट से रिलेटेड भी डिडक्शंस मिलते हैं। तो गवर्नमेंट ने तो अपनी तरफ से प्रोविजंस बना रखे हैं। अब ये पर्सन टू पर्सन डिपेंड करता है कि वो कितना ज्यादा इन प्रोविजंस को, ये एग्जेम्पशंस को, इन डिडक्शंस को यूज करके अपनी इनकम कम दिखा के और फिर कम अमाउंट टैक्स पे करे। तो अगर डायरेक्टली गवर्नमेंट भी, हाँ जी, अगर गवर्नमेंट
तो सही बात है, मगर कितना भी हमारा बचा रहे तो वो बनना पड़ता
मिल रहा है, वो तो खत्म ही हो जाएगा। फिर तो गवर्नमेंट ने, अगर आपने जैसे सपोज 30 लाख रुपए कमाए, गवर्नमेंट आपके पास अपने पास से ही टैक्स काट के और आपको सैलरी दे देगी, तो आपके पास तो इनकम कम हुई ना। ऑन दी कॉन्ट्रेरी, इफ विल गेट एन ऑप्शन कि भैया आप इस 30 लाख को कैसे ना कैसे रिड्यूस करके 20 लाख कर लो या 25 लाख कर लो, तो आपका वहां पे बेनिफिट है। So it's in your hands. More you are aware about the taxation benefits or tax planning. This process is known as a tax planning. How you plan your tax, it's in your hands. So that is the major reason why government is not deducting the tax and given an option to you. Just understand the concepts, understand the provisions, avail the benefits which are given by government to you, and then pay tax. It's just like that. Thank you so much, sir. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. My pleasure. I tried my level best to explain each and everything in a very simple manner to everyone. So, thank you so much for providing me this opportunity. बिल्कुल सर। हाँ जी। Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. I think ma'am have left. So I move towards the vote of thanks. Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa, District Latur, as we know, organized well record series 2. Today we have completed 306th day of the series. And the topic for today's presentation was direct taxes in India. And the keynote speaker for today's session, Dr. Vaishali Agrawal, madam, she explained very nicely, clearly in a simple language, how the direct taxes are in India and a simplified guide for salaried persons or the individuals, where madam have covered all those details regarding the different taxes, introduction to the salaries, meaning and income from salaries, computation of incomes from salaries, monetary salary, basic salaries, and what is an allowances, then profit in lieu of salaries, old taxes versus new taxes regimes. Now these points have covered step by step, point to point presentation was there, and the session was very knowledgeable, ma'am. So I'm very, very thankful to you on behalf of the organizing committee members. Also thanks our chief organizer of the series, Dr. Principal M. Bedkar sir. Then thanks the faculty members of my college, Dr. Kiran Chaudhary, Praveen Kamble sir, Praveen Udge sir, and others. Special thanks Dr. Swanand Shukla sir, Jaivir Singh sir, Dr. M.K. Jain sir, Dr. Kiran Chaudhary sir, also taken asked a nice question. Prem Lata ma'am, then Nikam Subhash sir, Shankaraya sir, also appreciated Radhika ma'am. Then Sharan Basappa sir. So thank you so much to you. And I heartily thanks all those dear participants who joined the series. Really, it was very informative session. We all have appreciated today's lecture. So thank you to you all once again. Now I request please fill the feedback link which is given in the chat box. With the kind permission of the chief organizer, I declare today's session is over. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Good night. See you again tomorrow, please.
Thank you, sir.